Hi everyone, and welcome to Like, Share, Follow. And it's episode 89, and I have with me Jade Kettlewell, who is a social media account manager at April Ford. So, welcome, Jade. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It's been a few years since we've seen each other. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. When did you actually graduate?
It was like 2021, 2020, right in the middle of COVID, so peak COVID time.
Oh, wow. So you
Yeah.
missed out on your graduation, but did you make it up last year?
We got it. It was a bit later than it was meant to be, and there were masks in place, so it was all
Yeah.
COVID guidelines. But we walked the stage, so that was nice.
It was
Yeah.
weird. I was in that ceremony, I think, and I was sitting. I was in like the robes, and it was just a bit like a weird dream, wasn't it? Like we all had masks on, and
It was funny when they're like, "Oh, this is the photo of you walking across stage," and I'm like, "Okay, I see my dress because everyone's got."
how much you know. Yeah, it was a very weird time. But thanks for being on the show. And so now you're a social media account manager at April Ford. So how did that happen from graduation? Like tell me your journey from graduation right through to where you are now.
Yeah, definitely. So as I said, when I graduated, it was peak COVID time, so the job market was very unstable. Not a lot of people were hiring, and then the companies that were there was no stability there. It was the first one in, or last one in, first one out. So I was lucky. I was working in pharmacy, so that kind of kept me stable while I could show there's a bug. Um, and, um, and I also, so my mother has an art studio, and so I was doing all the marketing and social media for her business. So throughout that time and through uni as well, I use that as like, it was a very good learning curve. So I could trial different things, see what would work, see what wouldn't. And I was always kind of doing that just to learn and kind of growing my own skill set, and then started applying, and yeah, successful with April Ford.
Excellent. And so how long have you been there now?
Since February this year, so just under a year.
Excellent. Great. And so what sort of things does your job involve? Like what's a day in the life like for you?
Um, so I'm in the socials team, so we work with a variety of clients. We do their social media copy, work with design team just to get it all sorted out for their monthly grids. A few different things in there.
And so how many clients would you manage their accounts for?
Oh, it varies month to month, so but a few. So
Is it like more than 20?
no.
No, oh, that's good. That's good. I hear stories that sometimes there's people have a lot of clients. So yeah, but that's good. And I think when you have fewer, like you can actually really provide a really great service and get to know them really well.
Yeah.
So yeah. And so what's been some of the best career advice that you've been given?
Cool. So one of the best things I got told when I first started this job was about in your writing, so about how you speak. So I think at uni, everyone's so eager to sound smart. So you're writing these big essays or the big reports, and writing for social media is so different. So when I first started, they're like, I think I wrote something, and someone was like, "That's not how you'd say that." So I'm just going to move as we're chatting because it's going to start raining.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah. That's okay.
But so yeah, that's probably my best piece of advice was just write how you speak, and just shorter is better. You don't need to overcomplicate things.
Yeah.
Probably the best.
Yeah. That's good. And I mean, I know when we do blogging at uni, a lot of people struggle with it because it's a real chatty conversational style of writing, and people have been so used to writing these sort of essays that that it's such a different style.
It's hard to turn off like the academic writing style, but when you switch to social media, definitely.
Yeah. And so what do you think set you apart from other people going for the role at April Ford?
Part of me thinks life experience. So it was really great that I could work with the family business and experiment social media there. So I did have obviously very big interest and some experience, like with email marketing and a few different things. So I think that was good. There was also life experience. So I've studied overseas. Part of my degree I did a semester in the Netherlands. So it was just on the So it was really cool. So I did all marketing subjects there and could learn like from the different countries' perspective, because they teach it very differently to how we do in Australia. And I think that was a really good thing that set me apart as well. So just that experience there.
Excellent. So what's something that you found really interesting in the way that they teach marketing there compared to the way we do it?
Even just in their presenting style. So when you do a lot of it was presentations. They didn't do a lot of reports. I think I wrote one written piece of assessment the entire semester, which was crazy when you think of USC, where it's lots of written. And they did it as a very kind of workplace mentality with the presentations. So you're in your group, you work, you have a preliminary presentation about halfway through just to make sure you're on the right track, like you would as if you're in a workplace with bosses. So you provide feedback, you address it, and then with your final presentation, and it's not in front of the entire class, so you book a time slot with your tutor or your you go in, you present, everyone has to present, and then you have to sit down and justify everything you've done. So they have questions just to make sure that everyone in your team is around everything. So it's not one person that's done all the work. And they will interrogate you for like half an hour to 45 minutes just to make sure that you know the theory behind everything, why you've decided everything. And that was a really cool way to do it. And it was very different from USC. Just getting like feedback written down in an email on like the assessment piece, and you just it was really cool. I actually quite liked it.
I think that would be great. And then you'd know that the students actually would get the feedback, because sometimes they don't look at the feedback. So
no, it was brilliant.
And you'd be ready. You'd have to be ready. So it wouldn't be just sort of reading off a piece of paper. Like, you'd have to really know the material.
Yeah, precisely. And even I remember at USC there'd be some days where you'd know the research, but you wouldn't. You go into a presentation, you might just kind of wing it a little bit. You just really couldn't do that there. And everyone in the team itself, like every student, no matter what country they were from, because it was a very international campus, everyone was so prepared all the time, and everyone was really invested in their work. Everyone was scheduling like work times to work on all the assessments well ahead. There was nothing left last minute. It was a very different change. I think Australia, we're very relaxed here. So that was nice.
Yeah, absolutely. And so now, reflecting on your time at university, what were some of the best things that you learned, or the most useful things that you learned that you use now in your current role?
Probably just the communication styles and learning to communicate with different people. So USC is also international campus, so that was really always interesting, having students from different countries in your classes. So I think just learning how to communicate with different like cultural barriers, language barriers, and taking the time to understand everyone's different points of view and perspectives. So I think that was probably the biggest pull away from USC, just learning how to be within a team, work with different people.
Yeah. And on the flip side of that, what has been some like knowledge or skills that you wish you'd learned at university that you've really needed to skill up on now that you're out working?
Yeah, probably more social media stuff. So I majored in advertising, and they were restructuring my degree as I left. So I had a bit of a squiz, and so a lot of the stuff that they were learning was things that I wish was part of my degree. So I think it is changing there for the better, which is great. But even just like some types of writing, social media skills. So I understand that it is so ever changing in social media. There's always something new to learn. But just more current social media things. I didn't get that in my degree, unfortunately, but that's fine, because then you learn it as you go anyway. And the different types of writing styles I didn't get to do as much of in advertising, but I think
was the minor and the major of social media there when you were going?
I think it was very new still. So when I left, and I was majored in advertising, minored in public relations and marketing. So it was, I think that came in as I was about a year or two in, and then
so and you would have already planned out everything by then. And so tell me, what is one of the best social media things you've learned? Because as you said, it's changing all the time, but what's like something about a platform or something that you've learned in the last couple of weeks that you found really interesting?
to be honest, I'm really interested in TikTok at the moment and Be Real. So Be Real is like one of the latest ones. I don't know if you have an account.
I do. I've lapsed so many times that
I think it's actually, but I need to get on that.
yeah.
It's always funny when you hear someone like yell Be Real and like everyone starts doing it. So you'll see like in your feed everyone's different angles in the same room. But I'm really liking that, and I like how companies are applying that. So Top Deck has recently started using that, and they're doing it with the so Top Deck, the travel company, they do tours around the world. And their tour guides, the main person, are using their account to show like the authenticity of the trips. So I think
that's a great idea.
Yeah, like showing the full experience, and it's not polished; it's very real, as they say. So it's, I think, cool because TikTok is another one that's doing that really well. Just because it's not meant to be high quality, and it is just showing little real moments, funny little videos. And I think the lower quality kind of the better sometimes with some companies, just because it shows and the real moments that they're doing. But the Be Real one's the most interested moment.
Yeah, well, I'm interested in how organizing companies are using that, because personally, like it's always when I'm like, oh, I don't want to do it now, and I'm like, I don't want to be real right now, and so I don't do it. And with TikTok, yeah, I totally agree. It's like, I mean, I've tried to do these really nice sort of curated and composed ones, and then it's the ones where I have just something to say off the cuff. And they go, and you know, it's Sunday morning, I have no makeup on and my hair's everywhere, and I just have done that. They've gone so much better than anything I've ever planned. So yeah, I love that sort of trend towards authenticity. So
it's cool for brands.
Yeah, absolutely. And so what is some advice? So reflecting now back, you're an emerging professional, you're about to finish your degree. What would you say to someone now about to leave and enter the workforce about how they could succeed in their careers?
A few things. So start going to networking events now and start meeting people from all the different companies on the coast. It is very much a who you know situation here, and everyone knows everyone. So start making those connections. So networking events is great for that. I know a few different marketing companies run really cool ones where they get guest speakers in. So I'd keep an eye out for those. Get on LinkedIn. That's one that I'm still really need to jump onto.
Yeah.
That's good. Posting, even just sharing things that are happening and putting your opinion on it, and reacting to other people's things. Don't sleep on that platform. And probably your own social media. So I think it's like a visual resume. So you need to be careful what you're posting, of course, but also making sure that it reflects your personality and what you're interested in. So if you look at mine, it's like old travel pictures or just random things with the coast. Nothing bad. It's all positive. I did have a private account. I opened it up when I was job hunting, so people could see. But just following other like companies that you like, interacting with their social media, so that they can kind of get you on their radar. Applying for internships, even just sending out, just asking them if there's an opportunity, even if they're not posting about it, just to really get your foot in the door. You really got to try. But
yeah. Absolutely. And then, I mean, the networking thing is so important. It's just, and of course, everyone finds it scary when they first go, but the more that you go to, then people get to know who you are, and then it's easier. So definitely. It's just turning up.
There's the Young Chambers on the coast as well, and they made a post the other day. They were doing a networking event for the new Wishlist Centre, and they had a note there that, like, if you're first time, if you're nervous, just like send us a message, and they'll try to connect you with somebody when you get there. So even a good idea, like if you are a little bit worried, let them know. Be like, oh, it's my first time, maybe a bit scared. Like word it however you want. But they can even like keep an eye on you, like if it's like a smaller group like that, or they might be able to kind of just make sure you're okay, introduce you to other people when you get there, so you're not standing awkwardly in a corner by yourself, because there's nothing worse in an event.
Yeah. But and they have cool events. Like I'm too old to go, but they have really cool events. Like there was one where I think they did a yoga class, and then they went to Giddy Geisha for dinner, and I'm like, oh my god, that I would love to do that. So yeah, they actually have really cool. It's not just sort of just sort of standing around in a bar or anything like that. Yeah. Another good one I like Reboot. Noosa, which is that's a really cool one. And also LinkedIn Local Sunshine Coast is pretty good as well. Like they always have a guest speaker and it's free. And and there's always nice people there who you can connect with. And it's all very LinkedIn focused. So yeah, so they're good ones.
Is that the one run by he was a USC marketing professor?
Yeah, Luke.
Yeah.
That's right. So yeah, so that's a good one. That's at the Butterham Tavern every month. So,
yeah.
Yeah, and so now this brings me to my final question. And you were giving advice about liking and sharing and following people, but who do you like, share, and follow?
So head of Instagram. I'm going to butcher his name, and I'm so sorry. I'm having a blank. That's going to bite me in the butt.
That's right. You can tag him in the bottom of the post once it's live.
I will, because my mind's just gone completely blank. But the head of Instagram, see what new things are happening on the platform. I think that's really good. Later, the scheduling program.
Yeah,
they just cool things that they post, and even just their website blog and everything. So post, follow them. I don't know. I follow a lot of just local businesses to see what everyone's up to and see what everyone's doing, and a lot of international ones too, just to see what's happening in the world.
Yeah. Well, if you can tag some of them, then other people can follow them as well.
Absolutely.
Excellent. And Indy Campbell's just popped up, and she has said, "Such an awesome episode. Love the international perspectives you brought, Jade." So,
thank
you. Yeah. And so we're about to wrap up, but my final question is: do you have any final words of wisdom to share before we end this episode?
Oh, that's hard. Final words of wisdom. My biggest thing would just be that you have to put in the effort to try. So it is really daunting approaching companies and even going for interviews. But I think you just have to look at everything as a positive experience. So you get a job interview, which is amazing. And even if you don't get the job, it's such a good experience to go through that process, and it's such a learning curve. I think people get so worried and they get really negative about the interview process and different things when they're starting out in the industry. So I think that would be to try to find the positive everywhere, even if it's just applying for jobs and writing cover letters, and each one's going to get better. And one day, you will get the job that you love. So I think just trying and just not looking, if you get the pushbacks, don't think of it as a negative, think of it as positive.
Yeah, it's clearly you just think that it's pushing me in the right direction.
Yeah, definitely. You know what not to say next time in an interview, what to say.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much, Jade. I'm really happy that you came on, and it's really great to chat to you again. And thank you for sharing your wisdom. And the next episode might be next week, but the week after. I'm still lining up my guests, but so we're nearing the end now. You're episode 89, and I'm going to finish at episode 100.
Wow.
Yeah. So thanks for making it into the 100.
That's exciting, actually.
Yeah. So thank you so much, and thanks everyone for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, Jade.
Thank you.